What is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing really well. Was on Paul Barron's channel earlier for a collab. Talked about some good stuff there. Comments were generally pretty positive, so happy about that. And, what's up, Wonderbar? What's up, Sania's blog? Okay, welcome. I've never seen you before. Sedney. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys. And let's see here, Wonder Bars. We got everybody in the house. And yeah, I just want to quickly just see because, I went to the gym. I worked out till 8 where I am right now. And, when you look at, let's see, another million. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's actually look at Trump coin. But I think that, interesting. That's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, anyway, let's get into TA. What you guys all want to see, and I think it's pretty much at this point a done deal for like 120, 122. Those kind of areas. You could consolidate. You could come back to 116. It is coming into the weekend. This would be, if you're way ahead, lock in some profits. That always makes sense. But generally, you come to the weekend, maybe people are trying to short, maybe, or whatnot. Usually, especially if you're trying to short this, that's always a freaking fool's errand. And I'm not saying it can't win, but it never freaking, you know what I mean? It will come down a little bit, and then you just don't get what you're trying to get, you know what I mean? The money flow and all that looks good for maybe a scalp short, day short, but I feel like it's just going to break upward a bit more. Or if it does, eventually come downward, it'll break upward before it comes downward, so maybe like 32 or something, that kind of area. Trying to think here, money flow coming up. Yeah, it's trigger wave right there. Everything still looks pretty good, especially Ethereum and all that. Same thing here. I would expect. The weekend bullish to more sideways. There's going to be less volume, obviously. You're coming into the weekend, and yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here. I think the big question here to realize too is that, will a lot of these alts finally follow in the footsteps of what Bitcoin and ETH is doing? Can you try to, long Polygon up to 30 cents, for example? Can you try to long Solana up to 188 probably? That was the ETH ETF I was looking at. I was curious because, yeah, you're kind of, a lot of pain is erased. You're back up to those kind of nice areas back in January of this year. So a lot of pain is erased, which is really good. Kind of a large, somewhat of a head and shoulders being formed. So, I think one of your big targets here is kind of like here, $50 or not. That's new all-time high, I think, or just about. Anyway, but XRP, that hit a really good area. I could show you. Let me show you what I've been doing in the Discord because, I entered a swing long. That was July 3rd. That hit first take profit the other day, and then in the ETH, the long that I added to. So it did really well. And if you guys are interested in trading, I got to use some new promos. Only with my link, 20% off your fees for life with both BloFin and BYDFI. The links are down below. And if you already signed up, don't worry, it's updated. You're going to now get 20% off your fees for life, so 20% cash back on both of those exchanges, which is going to be really good. I don't know how long they'll do it for, but, I said for life. They claim for life, but we'll see what happens, you know what I mean? But, so yeah, there's that. If you deposit, I think on BYDFI, over 5K there, there's some special promos, special like perks you can get, special VIP. Just like open maybe a support ticket in the Discord and let me know if you send it to my link. Deposit over like 5K on BYDFI, and I think we give you some little extra perks. So do that if you're interested. But yeah, a lot of good promos for the trade exchanges. I think a lot of these swings, kind of something like this little freebie right here. Trying to go up to like 32. $32 on AVEX probably would be a decent idea. 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, which is pretty good. Some of these have lagged behind. I think that, as some people get more into the seat, they'll put more money in, put a little bit more money in. Cardano as well. I think you should be able to get up to $1.17 relatively soon. those would be the goals within the next month. Let's see here. Uh, mm, Q3 by end of month. So I think that you got a good shot. Well, I wouldn't say a good shot, but I think it's possible to get to 4K. Take that out. I don't know. End of month, probably not, but I think it's possible to get to 4K by the end of this month or the next month. I think it's possible, within the next 30 days to get up to 4K. Will it happen? I don't know, but I think there's a shot at it. I mean, if you follow this trajectory here, just follow this kind of general path. August 3rd, you know what I mean? So it's doable. Not saying it's going to happen, but it's doable. Let's move this over a little bit. That would be your little summer lull, August lull or something. Could be worse, but 4,000 is definitely doable. Big area though, big freaking area. Definitely doable though. So yeah, I mean that's what I'm kind of looking at there. I think alts would do pretty well during that, but I think ETH would outperform most of them during that. What's up, Curtis? Is that Axie Infinity? Yeah, that's Axie Infinity. Nobody's talked about this in a long time. Rare bullish signs, but everything has some rare bullish signs. Is this the bottom? I don't know. This thing's pretty. I have not heard anyone talk about this. I mean, it's kind of a shot in the dark, but there's a lot of hype behind it back here 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So, yeah. All the current ETF filing coins, what I think the average returns on them will be. For this year, I would say 2 to 3x for most of them. 2 to 3x from where we are right now could be reasonable. I mean, ETH going up to 6 to 7K. Solana could hit 400 maybe. We'll see. Maybe even 600. We'll see. But yeah. Adam, that's I mean, I think I would be a little bit more confident with AVAX or maybe even Cardano. But Adam's actually looking, I mean, it's lagged. It looks depressing, but compared to like freaking, Polygon, which is like the most depressing. I don't know. I guess it's slightly less depressing. Like these are two that I would want to kind of come back. The other one I want to look at too. I'm just curious if that's another depressor. I mean, these are just legacy alts, but dinosaur alts. Call them what you want to call them, but old stuff that kind of still has a decent market cap. I mean, wow, 6 billion, but yeah, count to $4. I mean, it's something. Definitely something. But I mean, still lagging behind ETH overall for a lot of these. But I do think Bitcoin dominance probably has topped at this point. I mean, let's see, crypto.com, that's still coming up, trying to jump to freaking, this could jump to 15, 16 cents relatively soon. I would hope I think it's going to be a good 4 weeks. That's what I will say. I think it's going to be a good couple weeks. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of exciting on that part. So, yeah. And then, the rumors of Powell going to step down. I don't know. I mean, I guess that probably would help us if he does step down and they just start printing. Just do what Trump wants to do, just lowering rates. I mean, I feel like it's, I mean, how low would you get rates theoretically, though, even if you did get rid of Powell? I mean, and it looks like he may be gone. How low would you get rates? I mean, I don't think it's going to be, I think just we're at that point in history where it's just not going to crash down to, I mean, you probably could get it back down to here, you know what I mean? Like just based on like, if you can do something like that or, yeah, I mean, I guess it could be like that, but it's not. Yeah, so September, you're back down to here. It's doable. I mean, if you're that would be a mortgage rate of like 5.5. I mean, I guess it's possible in 10 of the year, but probably more like high fives, low sixes, even if you get Powell out. What's up, James? It's late at night for me. Wonder how many hours you're ahead of me from Thailand to Finland. But yeah, let's see other ETF ones. XRP. Still only 2 or 3 X jumps on them when they get that. Dot is gonna. I didn't even hear about Dot being a. Is Doge ETF gonna come to fruition that soon? Wow. Um, well, I mean, it's hard to say, man. I mean, I don't know. Dot looks kind of dead in the dumps to a certain extent. I mean, I could, I would hope this can do, 17. So, this could be more because it's such a small market cap. I mean, maybe you could get 400%, maybe more. I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. But yeah. And let's actually look at metals. Silver's coming up, yeah. So silver, it's interesting because it's done, it's the, yeah, into 2011. I mean, that was your real good 10-year period for it. This is your bad, like, 20-year period for it. It's a good decade. And then kind of the thing for these is what I kind of feel like, yeah, because it's still, I mean, that was a double top from goddamn 1980. I feel like it's still like a bad decade as long as you stay below that top. But I mean, yeah, I could go there. It's tough to say here. It is coming up. I feel like that's going to be major resistance. And as you see the Dixie see a jump relatively soon, I think it'll hurt metals. Will it hurt crypto? I feel like it won't because crypto's just in its own cycle. But I don't know. There's a few different scenarios for this. I really don't know what to make of metals right now. Um, because, because that was like, if you look at patterns on this, like this is just all, it was a sideways for freaking 30 years. Sideways for about 34 to 70, so 25 years. Oh no, 35 years. Yeah, 35 years. Sideways, then a jump up. Bad 20 years, down sideways for 20 years. Then a nice decade. And now we're seeing like something different. But so you saw like a bad decade, from 11 to 21 or whatever, 11 to 22 really. So it's like a bad decade right there. And now you're seeing so far, last 3 years, a pretty good decade. So I don't know. It's like, I mean, my guess here would be that, maybe you be sideways a little bit and then the 2030s, you really, something like that. Because what does this normally do? Like it kind of goes up, sideways, break it, it's a weird thing. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough to say with metals. I mean, I guess when you're in doubt on something, you could look at metals against like, Bitcoin or whatever. And I think that, as I've been talking to, that's interesting. Bitcoin still didn't make gold didn't still make a new low against Bitcoin. Bitcoin didn't make a new high against gold. But that's where it jumps against, that's where it kind of jumps against Bitcoin. What do we, there, right there. It's gold there. Let's see, gold, Bitcoin. Trying to think there. There's gold, gold ETH. I want to do Bitcoin gold, Bitcoin gold, because that's what I was kind of thinking. One more kind of. You still didn't make a new all-time high against gold. Gold has been a powerhouse lately. But this is like a good, I think you should come up to there. And then I'm just thinking, like, where do you convert if you're trying to, like, convert to gold in the bear market, which I don't know if that's necessarily the best idea. You may be better with the SPY, but I think the next red dot, because this kind of looks like Bitcoin against USD itself. So that next red dot in the monthly probably will give you, because the thing here is like, December 2022 is, convert your gold into Bitcoin there. Same thing there, December of 2018. Basically the same thing there. December, January, so and then convert your Bitcoin into gold, November of 13, December of 17, November of 21, probably sometime in the last 3 months of this year here, if you do repeat that, and I think you probably will. But the thing is, how much did, now let's get up another chart to kind of give us, this is a good idea, what do you, your safe haven. So, okay, so what, yeah, here we go, 88, 84, 75, 86, 83, 75. So, theoretically, kind of the same that time. You do have got compound interest. It bled more. You're slightly better off with the SPY, according to this. Now, we're in different times now. It could be different. Or just last time was, kind of, you got a compound interest. Okay, no compound interest in gold. So, yeah. But no, I think, most of the run is, obviously kind of over. I mean, it's not going to, I guess it could come up to 200K, but I don't think, most of this run is over. We're going to get up to probably 150K, maybe 180 or 200, maybe, but it's more, it's going to be one of these areas. It's going to be one of these areas that you peak out. You outperform gold for a while now. You're going to kind of come down, or outperform SPY for a while now. You're eventually going to, see your traditional pullback. Probably only 60% this time or something. Maybe only 70%. But yeah. So yeah, let's look at XMR, sure. What's up, Nightshade? Let's see here. So if you have, if you got your little XMR, let's see, yellow wave, okay, weekly, yeah. Your money flow is kind of not the best. I think it will follow what a lot of the other market does. The thing with this that's interesting, okay, so you got your giant place of resistance that you want to kind of break through, that you may or may not break through, kind of right around there. You didn't quite get to it yet. You probably will get to it. It's just a question of, is that it? And, it may top out early, like this topped out early in April 21, so if it's like that, then you're kind of, you're kind of dead in the water. Although if you got in over here, you got a 3x, so cool, but or over a 3x, so well, just about a 3x or whatever. But yeah, there's that. So that's what I'm kind of looking at there. I don't know if I really like Monero. I feel like it's more of a fundamentals type thing with the privacy tokens. I got a little bit of Zcash and Monero, nothing significant. And the reason is just because the charts never have been that great on these, unfortunately, in recent years. But this could do something, maybe. It could definitely do something, maybe. What was that? I don't know why this comes to mind. Eternity. There's certain ones you just remember. They've been out, like, yeah, nothing happening there. There's certain ones that just come to mind. I don't know, where sometimes that you want to look at and that they're like doing nothing, but yeah, veracity. Cleansing of the market, like Dash. That's another. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with this one. It just keeps bleeding. It's just not something that would likely do too much, So yeah, and man, I'm trying to think here. But 3K ETH, we're happy with that. I wonder what time is it right now on the was it like 8 p.m. on the East Coast or whatever, 7 p.m. or something. Bitcoin price, they would probably be around the price for the bottom of the bear market. My view on the bottom of the bear market price would be, I'm just looking at history. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's, an extended cycle. Kind of doubt it, but, so 83, 77 approximately. I think it was 75 if you really, I guess, let me map that out. What was this? Okay, 77 on this chart. Yeah, and then okay, so we're 77. I mean, let's say you peak out at 150 or something, or let's say 154. You come down, I don't know, this time. I mean, 48 is the inception. I would think you would probably come down at least 60 something percent, 60 something, a decent correction. Let's say you get up to 200. I don't know if you get, I don't really think you'll get up to 200, but maybe come down 70, 60. I would think the bottom would be somewhere between 45 and 60K, sometime next year for your typical bear market. Now, it could be different than that. I mean, institutional stuff is the main hope, but keep in mind all this institutional stuff, it's just followed the 4-year cycle so far. So I don't see any reason to significantly break off of that, but we'll see. And I think that because the thing too is like, I mean, you got to be real. Like, there's a lot of people that probably bought around 30K, probably bought around low numbers. Like, they're probably still holding, and great for them. There's probably a lot of people that also bought it right now at the all-time high, and good for them. But it's like how far can you go before people get wrecked? And there's got to be, not everybody's going to get immediately rich. So I think that's this next monthly kind of when that starts to print that red dot or gets close to it, 3-week and monthly, like most of your run is probably over at that point, if not all of it. And this would equate pretty well with the 4-year cycle. Now on your 3-week, yeah, maybe it's October, could be later, monthly, it could be, it's kind of looking like October, but I feel like the market would be later. Let's see. H bar, there has been a little bit of hype. Let's see here. Price for the bottom. Yeah, H bar in recent hyper, a lot of news and stuff. H bar, yeah, I mean, I have a small position in it, nothing too crazy. I mean, I think it's got a really, yeah, this could be actually a good, because no one's talking about this either. I mean, well, some people are, but I'm not. I've been kind of asleep on it. But something like this, because that's a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. That's hard to get. Now I would probably take it there, but that's still a good risk reward ratio for a long. Or just buying this on spot could work. You got a decent shot at a new all-time high, maybe. So yeah. Okay, just less on the Kraken. They could go either way, but I would think it's probably generally bullish. I think that when you look at now, the thing to pay attention to here, let's look at fear and greed a little bit, because people are coming back in the seat a little bit. You're at 67 fear greed. Like, I mean, that's where you topped out a little, kind of topped out before a 15% correction on Bitcoin. Big whoop in May. A little summer lull there, but, we're kind of like right here. So generally from where we are, well, a little bit higher than that actually, but I would argue, a few weeks to a month before you get your kind of next significant pullback. Significant meaning, at least a 10% correction for Bitcoin, I guess. And, that would be February to, yeah, so about a month. So I would think you got a month. You got a month from where you are right now, and then maybe a bearish month into the that Fed meeting when they'll probably cut rates. So yeah, and I mean the odds are, I just want to see if anything's changed here. So you got a good shot at September, but that's going to be a pause for October and then another cut in. So it's just 2 cuts, But if Powell resigns, who knows? Who knows who's going to come in? I think objectively both sides are going to, well, they're going to be at ends because they are, but both sides usually deep down want somebody to cut rates and print money. I mean, that's kind of just the backbone of how things have been for so many years now. But yeah. Trying to think if there's I mean, everything generally looks pretty strong at that. Is there anything going on in the world? Like, is there what is happening in the world right now? Interesting. That's where it's going to get interesting. I feel like they want to. Well, I feel like he's in it. Trump's in it. The Lion's in it, but it's like everyone's in it. You know what I mean? It depends what capacity you're in it. You know what I mean? That's gonna be interesting too. It's like who wins the White House in 28. I feel like Vance has got a good shot. I think the spy and all that'll do pretty well. I think whoever they put up on the Republican side is probably gonna beat Newsom. I mean, when will you hear Newsom? Probably after midterms, you'll hear Newsom announce it. He'll probably run. I mean, I think I'd be surprised if he doesn't get it on the Democratic side. Um, so yeah, I wonder what kind of Ponzi scheme this dude was doing. Let's see. Hmm. I don't care, but yeah. Anyway. So, but yeah, I think you got more to go on ETH. Definitely, ETH versus Bitcoin. I mean, that blood diamond, that was a buy signal right there, and sometimes they are similar to kind of that one. So, yeah, especially when you're down so much. I mean, I do think that you can get it to 0.056. I think that would be. I want to do division on my phone. I'll do it on my calculator right here. Let's do a little division. So if Bitcoin gets up to 154, or excuse me, let's start with ETH. If ETH gets up to 73, divided by 154, that's 47. So maybe Bitcoin doesn't do as much, or ETH goes above. Maybe ETH goes to 8,000. I mean, but I would think this trajectory is probably something of what you'll see. When did it peak out here? It peaked out December 21 there, essentially. So, and then it peaks out at the tops of other than that in June, but tops of the kind of the run. So if you're seeing something like this, I would argue something like that. That jump there. Mm. And that jump polygon. But yeah, let's see here. Mm. Trigger waves right there in Sol. So everything looks great, obviously. Everything looks really good. So we had that there. I think NFTs have done nothing, right? Yeah. Well, a little something, but I mean that's yeah. You would argue off your ETH valuation, you could jump here, but it's just not quite there. Maybe you jump back to two something. If you get two ETH, $6,000. I mean, it's still pennies on the, 2 ETH. If ETH gets up to 4K, it's 2 ETH. I mean, it's 8K. Not half bad, but so we're recovering. I mean, we're slowly but surely recovering, and I think over the next month, you'll see more of that. Don't know what you're talking about there. But yeah. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in trading, we looked at XLM, man. It looks decent. I would be careful with it though, because it's approaching a big level. It'll probably break through though. But if you're interested in trading 20% off your fees with my link only on BidFi and BloFin, it's the pinned chat for BloFin. I don't think anybody else is going to give you this type of promo, so check it out if you're interested. Some good deposit bonuses as well. If you deposit at least $100, open a support ticket in the Discord. We'll give you one free month there with your UID. Deposit over $5,000. Let me know as well, please, with your UID. On BidFi, they're doing something a little something like some extra perks or something. I don't know the exact thing of it, but try to get you something cool there. I've heard of Jasmy. I've done TA on it. I really don't know anything about it, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just too lazy to look it up enough. I want to just see if there we go. I think it can jump back up to 3 or 4 cents around here. Can it get up to back to 8, 9 cents? I don't know. We'll have to see how it reacts at that level. So yeah. Let's look at some inflation metrics quickly. Oil, yeah, that's just been so sideways. Coming up a little bit, but it'll probably. I feel like this is going to just follow the freaking yields. Like there's just a lot of boring sideways bearishness for a couple of years and then finally kind of, comes down or whatever. So yeah. Let's look at TRX. It's always like, that's a weird movement. I'll tell you that much. Weird movement trying to approach that area right there. I think it will. Maybe 55 cents in here. Could be more. Could be some of these higher ones. It's a large market cap though. Maybe 100 bill you'll get to. Justin Sun is smart, man. What am I trading? So I'll show you guys the trades right here. Probably shouldn't have showed the stop losses because it's like top secret info, but but there, realized profits. So some good realized profits here. And the chain link one is finally, those funding fees are destroying me, but is what it is. Takes its time. So yeah, but anyway, let's look at the Trump coin. Ooh, so a little something after nothing for a long time. This may, with the Justin Sun, it's kind of like buy the rumor here. I don't know if you're going to see much. There's also the Polygon will help this out, and I think these will. I mean, I don't know what the hell these will do, but I could see them going, a couple, 2-3x from here or more. Maybe not, but it's risky business. But they okay, $150, yeah. So Trump NFTs or whatever, but we'll see what happens. So I guess that's that. I mean, just curious where they're. If you go way in the distance, yeah. So 4 cuts by July of next year, and then oh boy. So they're really forecasting, and this is so subject to change, but they're really forecasting like that's 8 cuts by end of next year. So they're really forecasting a lot of cuts in 2026, which would make sense if Trump kind of gets his wish. But I still think that, well, if you're getting 8 cuts, that's two full points down, 200 basis points downward. I mean, what would your 30-year mortgage rates be at? I mean, if they're at like 6.8 right now, high 4s, low 5s is kind of what you would think at that point. So, I mean, low 5s would get a lot of people in the seat. That would probably give your last kind of run up for real estate into the end of the decade, I would think, for maybe 27, 28. And then after that, you're kind of dead in the water for that, and you finally see your kind of collapse or whatever. I don't know. Just real estate, yeah. That still hasn't come back there, but that's like kind of its own, its own situation or whatever. What is that? There's a few. I mean, just curious. Yeah, that one. Nice double top from freaking, yeah, that's interesting. Although, this could be interesting here because 05, you peaked, well, would you peak 2 years later? That would be very interesting. I think it would be different this time, but that'd be a peak in 26. That'd be a peak in 26 according to this, but that's, yeah. Just considered on home building, but obviously it could be different. If your peak is in 26, you'll dump in like 28, 29, something like that. I feel like that's too obvious, though. Exactly 20 years after 08. I feel like it's going to take longer. But anyway, guys, I think I might get going. It's getting late here. I want to sleep. Finally getting my circadian rhythm good. The jet lag was real for the first couple days. Weird, weird schedule. So, yeah, I mean, kind of on the short term, be careful if you're shorting. I mean, it always looks like it wants to come down, but then, it just hits some random line I drew without no. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I mean, maybe it'll come down a little bit, but you're probably, even if it does come down, you probably get those wicks upwards, so be careful. And then, maybe up to, if you can get up to like 32, that would be really, good because, yeah. Anyway, man. Breakfast, James. Shout out to James. And by the way, one last time, if you guys are interested in trading, check out the pin chat. BloFin 20% off your fees for life. Same thing on BitFi 20% off your fees for